And for the last, about my father landing inside of the hospital and inside of the home for elderly people. Something I already have discussed at right here more than anywhere else, where I suggested that upon release of my father at University Hospital Clinic Ljubljana, UKC, Univerzitetno klinični center Ljubljana, were hijacked from Poland, delivered once in Slovenia, literally by Novo Mesto police. A brain surgeon have explained me, the man who have performed the surgery of my father explained me that my father is not in a good condition. He is being released at that point, home. However, he stated me even he should have stayed inside of the hospital. He stated me, however, that will be released, but everything is in hands of obviously my mother, us, taking care of one, and gave me precise instructions about the fat, grease, oil, and what kind of impact one would have on a future well-being of my father, who suffered apparently stroke. Father did not suffer any stroke. Father was smashed in the face. Somebody did something to him. They have done something to him. And I also know, because Nurse Janko personally, Novo Mesto police investigators personally would deliver me to the neurosurgeon department, brain surgical department, beginning like 1998, maybe something like this, 97. Actually 97, 96, 96 by Milan Kučan, Robert Golob. And what exactly was that related to? Was something that's going to happen sometime in the future with my father. So they were delivering me for the sake of the proofs. They called that for the sake of the proofs. If you would be capable to identify. The first one was Robert Golob in 1996. They were delivering me for torture to the University Clinical Center, UKC Ljubljana. And they were also delivering, obviously, my parents, my father, here and there, seldomly, for whatever reason. There's much I don't know about, because there was other procedures they have done on my father. It wasn't in 96, it was in 96, it was in 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, fucking 10. Every fucking year, giving me an update about the neurosurgical, about the brain surgery department at UKC Ljubljana. For some people did not even understand why they were taking me in there. They wanted to know why. And they told me repeatedly that was because of the father. They planned, this is just another proof, it was a lot of people. Everybody knew they're going to do something to the father. That much in respect to grease, fatty, this and that. And that's what I'm going to be discussing in this video. My father alone toxically broke me in front of, and as required, as dictated, as conditioned, death threatened by ex-Novo Mesto Police Director Janez Ogulin. This individual here. This individual here. I already dedicated this criminal space on my blog, and we are nowhere done, because he was the right and the left hand of all the police directors, I think I would say even sometimes (1985), this was the man, this guy right there. All the dirty job, the side channel, this was the guy, the same as he groomed Juršić afterwards, the same as he groomed other police officers and so directors and so on. Director Juršić. My father stated me, as this guy dictated me, he would be it would be just like this. You're gonna come here, Savo, that's the name of my father, you're gonna do that for me right now, you're gonna stress these issues to him. And before my father would start stressing these issues to me, anywhere from Karadžić's family to Milošević family to all the Serbian Chetniks that committed genocides and were convicted of the genocides, every fucking one of them, some with people locked inside of the Hague, promising me death of my father, guaranteeing me death of my father if I would even touch Serbian politics again. And he goes to Aleksandar Vučić, he goes to entire Serbian parliament, he goes to the entire Serbian state, everything parallel with the Slovenian state ran with strict keep it silent or we will kill your father. And you're talking about Borut Pahor, Tanja Fajon, Robert Golob, Milan Kučan having complete monopoly, complete ownership of my father through the local Novo Mesto police, with my being labeled as a paranoid schizophrenic. My father had no chance other than to cooperate with whatever they stated. And on opportunity, after my mother already broke me down, and this did not go once, it did go at least twice, that my father, and this was way before, it started way before my father was even thrown into on a surgical table in 2018 at University Clinical Center in Ljubljana. This is what is interesting. My father stated to me, my mother was the one who stated to me, this is a little bit insane. Number one, it didn't make any fucking sense, because this kind of death threat, my mother was the one who first started to break down these death threats to me in 2012. The fat, grease, whatever will be used to just get rid of the father. They started this actually with the 2010. The whole program on how they will get rid of, exactly what will be used to get rid of the father. And it didn't make any fucking sense to me in 2018 or 19, I do not know. I cannot know. Because when father came home in 2018, this is all that I was in Poland, everything. Father was in such a bad shape when he was released from the hospital that all he had to do is basically adhere to the same principles as if he would be inside of the hospital. That's basically, do not move, stay still, and do not even think about getting angry, upset about anything like this. That's how they release him from the hospital. And I know so because my mother started to stress me. This was not twice. This was when it comes to my mother. My mother did this I don't know how many times. With father already sometimes in 2016, and then appears in what was 2018 once he was released from the hospital. So mother started to break down. Everything we said in respect to father about grease, fat, this and that and that. If you will be talking about anything about the Serbian politic, if you will be talking about against the politicians, if you will not comply with the Novo Mesto police, if you will say anything against Novo Mesto police, if you will just think about mentioning Milan Kučan, or think about mentioning Borut Pahor, or think about Tanja Fajon, not Tanja Fajon, she did not even exist back then. Any of these ex-so-called communists in Slovenia, the only thing we're going to do is that stuff with the food. That's all there is to it. Boom. Now we are here. Nobody, anything to me. After the father was delivered home in 2018, silence. I anticipated why I would get the speech like this. But I remember the speech did not come immediately. I think they gave father for mama to do the speech in front of me only 3 months after he was released from the hospital in 2018. My mama gave me hijacked from Poland here to this house, a speech, a reminder. Now we did the surgery, we did all this stuff we have spoken about. Now everything is in your hands. If you will say this, if you will say that, if you will do anything other than research your MK Ultra issue and so on, your father is dead. You remember we said we're going to start with the food and this and that. And father reminded, he only reminded he was not allowed to do what he did in the past when he stated to me, and if you will talk about the politics and this and that, I will go and eat fat food. Mama will feed me with the fat food. And I know I will likely even die. But you have to understand, I will eat. This is where we are today. This is the video I am making today right now about that stuff. My father being compelled in front of my mother, who gave me the speech first, by Janez Ogulin, ex-director of Novo Mesto Police Station, Janez Ogulin, in front of psychiatrist Peter Kapš, together with the psychiatrist Kapš, 3 months after he was released inside of this home, to repeat me. And I will eat, even if I would die for the cost of that, and you will be sorry, you will see, you will be sorry, this and that, was the speech from my father during MK Ultra to me, which police on opportunity, it was like this, that they recorded for the purpose, they already recorded, video recorded themselves with this, giving me this kind of warning. In other words, releasing my mother from legal liabilities for the crime. Not supposed to do that. If anything will happen, that's how they encourage my mother. We have a video recording where father alone stated that he will eat, that he will do crazy stuff and so on. That even I will regret, and I will see him depart to hospital and this and that, and home for elderly people, and I will regret and so on and so forth. And this is how it all started. In 2022, that's how they hospitalized my father afterwards. 4 years later, this is the procedure they have used to hospitalize my father. Absolutely, there is no doubt who did it, why they did it, and how they did it. At the beginning stage, I was extremely angry with my father. Now I have to connect the hard drive again, because it's stuff I did. It's a really long one. It's got 4 hour and 47, 5 hour video, and it's still nothing. I was so upset the other day that I proceeded to literally start to collect the proofs about the kind of food the mother was feeding the father with, for which police have stated me, this very, very important part, Police have stated me, you're not going to have any kind of proofs for any food. You're going to have maximum a plate, 2 plates where you will have. During MK Ultra, they insisted me, you're not going to have any kind of proofs about the grease and stuff like this. The food was such a food that it's like you take the fucking bottle of oil and you just go, you do it like this all over the plate. And what they meant by this was the aggression, the verbal and physical violence of my father, of my mother on me during attempts to video record what my father was eating. We have enormous fights. I attacked verbally my mother with absolutely everything I had in order to prevent her giving my father food, which was nothing other than grease, oil. I was watching with broken heart how my father was stuffing himself in front of me deliberately with completely evident food that you could almost use to power the car engine instead of oil. Disgusting food, grease, unbelievable. If I attempted to offer one plate of my own, something that I wanted to cook, and get one on a track and give him, he refused. Every morning he fed himself with nothing other than bread and water. With the bread, strictly with the bread, and with the tea, for which he alone was the one who professed, tutored me on how this is not the food I'm supposed to eat, that's not the way it's supposed to be, etc., etc. So the stuff they were doing, because 50% of the talk during MK Ultra was only about the food, about the diseases, food, medical conditions, all kinds of terror for all kinds of diseases, and all based on real health effects during MK Ultra, real medical problems which they developed. Did so to cause me even greater stress, even greater trauma when I was, you don't have to be with any kind of medical background to understand that, especially such an old man, this would be a young man that would kill you, would go dead basically with that food. And so it went. They started to feed him, father started to eat, behave toxically just as he was instructed, to hate me, to view me. In a previous videos which I described, how Robert Golop was coming to Novo Mesto and torture my father at home for elderly people with this kind of toxicity. He was building his own death, his own failure, by even, as I explained, giving my mother a clearance in case she would have to go and defend herself on a court for what it took place exactly. I got my father home on one occasion, exactly according to MK Ultra scenario. They completely mindfuck with me based on MK Ultra scenarios, the way they hospitalized him, took him to the hospital, and then he was given a chance to even come home. By simply physicians asking me if I want him home and this and that, without even informing my mom. I wanted my father back, so they deliver him back. Then my mother made even bigger circus by sleeping next to him inside the room. I was everything but human, yelled, screamed at. If I wanted to record something, it was bomb, the telephone fly out. I was basically in no situation, including with my father, that would disallow me to do anything for him, no matter what the fuck I would do. This is how he was hospitalized. This is how he was thrown into the home for elderly people. And I did not recall absolutely any of it. I was completely in shock, in trauma, because of what they were doing with me during MK Ultra and repeating in front of my eyes. I didn't know whether I'm going to lose my father. I didn't know even because of so many conspiracy theories involved by the police, by my niece, by my mother. My mother always presented herself as somebody that wants to get rid of him. She wanted to create a conspiracy theory out of the whole thing. And this conspiracy theory very, very much matched the actual situation as it was. I had no one to turn to, basically. The only thing left I had basically is to play along and continue to collect the proofs. I had nothing I could do. They came and they hospitalized father the second time. When I got my father home, at my total shock, mother continued to stash him with the mountains of the food, and father ate them in front of me. This is very difficult to explain because you have to go through with this stuff. But I don't think you can drive somebody more insane than with something like this. Yeah, that's exactly what Slovenian police, Novo Mesto police, with the cops, with the mother, they were doing to me. My health, as far as my health or something like that, it was of no interest to me to take care of myself. I didn't pay any attention about food, wherever I was all fucked up, scattered all over the place, basically. It took a great toll on me. That's exactly what they were doing, to cause me as much damage as possible. So the Slovenian president, Borut Pahor, wanted to get me killed at whatever it takes. And that's exactly what he went after. That's exactly what he wanted to accomplish. This is how they fucked up the father. This is how they fucked up the father. We had explosive verbal fights with mother. Father would not even want to eat anymore, and mother, the only thing I could do is basically a big fucking shuffle, just pushing him down the insane. I mean, if you would be, I don't know how old the fuck you would be, that's the way it would be. I mean, this is just the way it is. This is 4 hours, and there is other stuff that I have to collect and stuff. The food was so disgusting that you had nowhere else to go than fucking die, man. There's only one way you go with this. I mean, you go dead. Certainly, there was nothing other than grease that floated, stuff that was, of course, like all the grease. It was tasty and everything, but on the other hand, death was basically guaranteed here. There was no other outcome that would be possible, with my father feeding himself on nothing other than bread and tea. Bread and tea. That's all there was. This does not release my mother from responsibilities of it. My father definitely doesn't want to go inside of the... absolutely doesn't want to go, end up like this. But my mother enforced this like a little Hitler inside of the home. Like a deputy from Joseph Stalin, basically. The only thing that she was missing was basically a baton or something, a stick, that she would start to hit him or something like this. And also myself. She tried to do the same thing with myself. She was physically violent to the degree that she believed even is going to physically intimidate me. This is how the whole thing with the father went. Well, the father did not took seriously things. He was ordered to comply. And he complied with it. And this was it. This is the way it went. This is how it went. Oh. I couldn't do anything for the father, no matter what the fuck I would do. Yelling, screaming, loading him with a fucking food like insane. Like, you know, just like she was doing with me with the perfumes when I drove her to the father the other day. There was nothing I could possibly do with her when this kind of stuff went on. And on my audio recordings, you can hear him. I don't want any more and this and that. Only one more. Only one more. One more. This one, that. 1 hour go past, 2 hour go past. Sabo, I got more food. I got more food. And I get him. Eat the fucking food, more food, more food, more food, more food. Load him with the food. Till actually, yeah, this definitely doesn't fit in there. Till he's finished, basically. You could see my father visibly with the eyes. You could see my father with the eyes falling apart in front of me. This is what's interesting about this type of stroke. This is a very, very controlled stroke due to overeating yourself. And you can see the person literally falling apart in front of you. With every day a little bit worse, little bit worse. But this is not the first time they have done this to him in respect to surgery of 2018. They have done some other surgical procedures on my father already before. Including what I believe was a brain surgery. I believe the brain surgery was already done earlier. And it was not for one brain surgery. I believe it might have been for 2 brain surgeries already. I've seen father during MK Ultra already having problems with exactly what you see here. Started to catch himself, to recuperate himself from stroke, maybe mini stroke, whatever the fuck they did with him. But he had him. And he was at UKC already before on several occasions.
Boš pa tako ne, bo pa res tako ne boš.
Tu se pa motiš, zdaj se pa motiš. Res se motiš.
He is not capable to eat anymore because of the stroke, basically. And then he go only worse and worse and worse. But what is interesting, my mother keeps fucking coming with more and more food. I mean, this is just the way. This is the way the father went. This is the way the father was taken, basically. No matter what the fuck I could do, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything. All I could do is I could record for one day when the day would come, so I can release the video about what the Novo Moesto police did. They enforced the murder through the surgery, and not one surgery, but I believe at least 2 surgeries prior to 2018. We're talking about the brain surgeries. I don't think this was the first surgery in 2018. Nurse Yanko once spent with him and others over 1 month rehabilitating my father. Rehabilitating, giving him a heavy exercise to pull him back on his feet. I don't know, it was only because he would stay for too long on the bed. But this man was hell of a tortured. This was one hell of a tortured individual. And this is my father. This is my father. And so, there you go. they did create conspiracies in respect to whatever is already rotten and this and that. The thing is, it was not about the rotten. The thing is, more than about anything, it was about what I stated. But what makes this even more crazy, even more insane, is that my mother started to deliver father mountains of food to the hospital. Now he's in the hospital, he gets the food, and my mama comes and regularly just goes and stash his mouth even more to eat more faster, more and more. You know, I'm going to interrogate UKC, Ljubljana University Clinic Center brain surgeon, who was doing this stuff, and only brain surgeon, but entire department, to hear what exactly went on, beginning the 1996, when Robert Golob for the first time delivered me at UKC. You know, I'm going to fucking interrogate and get every ABC information about how you got my father basically murdered. And you went to do this to the person which is 91-year-old, for which you knew the chances to get himself out alive out of this situation are not slender, they're not almost equal to zero basically. And it was the stuff, as I explained, it was used to further cause me what they saw as a problem. The main problem for me was because I did not understand, I did not recall entirely about what went on, who did all this, because of so many other issues. So much work, such an overload through my website, through the work I did. So this is the whole thing about, if you like, and you will like, whether you like or you don't like, what they did with my father. This is incredible. I mean, this is just enormous amount of disagreements, enormous amount of. Yes, I got father home. Yeah, I know that. Here, I was told all kinds of issues that all kinds of stuff, that I'm gonna have to be with a father, that somebody have to be with him 24/7 and so on, all kinds of stuff like this. So they go and they do something like this with the person, so they get your attention. You motherfuckers are not gonna get away with this. You motherfuckers are never gonna get away with this, I tell you, every fucking one of you. That's why I didn't give a three fuck about your assistance. That's why I didn't give a three fuck about your MK Ultra proofs. This is also one of the reasons why I'm not here to award the genocide against myself, basically. I'm not here to award the Holocaust of the family. I'm not here to give you award for the Holocaust. I need to go handshake with you motherfuckers for basically Holocaust, for wiping my life and causing such a great degree harm like this. None of you is going to escape to this stuff. This is exactly what went on. This is how this stuff went on. This is how this stuff went on. What is also interesting is also notable, it's also important to note that I was the one who was blamed for it. This is what's interesting. Let me explain to you this type of clause of psychiatrist coach. This yelling, screaming at me because all I wanted is father to eat well. All I wanted is to father to have walk with me, to take moderate exercise, to walk with me and eat well, so that his body can clean itself, that he can start to function and can be healthy. This yelling, screaming at me that my mother was doing, obviously that upset father. Father was immensely tortured during MK Ultra, and it was used during MK Ultra to repeat me at least on 1 million occasions. that arguing, all kinds of arguing, yelling, screaming, will be used to eventually accuse me, make me blame for it, that I would be blamed for it if father would get upset or anything like this. And the only one who was doing this kind of stuff was mother inside. Mother was the one that was loading him with the food, and any question, anything I would ask, anything that I would object to the food, fat, this, whatever, it would only result in yelling, screaming, smashing camera down, you fucking name it. And father would even join that stuff. He would even, at times, he would even go, oh, give me peace and this and that and so on. I had a tough job to do. It was a tough job saving this Ryan, because he made me a lot of problems along the way. In fact, as many as he possibly could. But he was a tortured person. My father was a tortured person. My father is not treated the way it's supposed to be treated, based on what I have described, stated. And they're still doing best of their abilities to get rid of him for obvious reasons. This is what went on with the Novo Mesto police. This is how it was done. This is what the job from my mother was. That's even the job from my father. He had to agree to it and so on. Yeah, they make you die in such a way that you give alibi for a murder to the person who's going to murder you, and they look nowhere else other than to the spouses. Obviously, also to the kids, but I'm not the kind of kid. I was told all kinds of stuff. Not only by the Slovenian side, but also other people, including Elon Musk, on how I will wander with the mother of the world for many more years, but the father is like this and so on. No. You're fucking nobody to decide about my father, talking to Illuminatis, and I am going to charge as many as possible. I will get this case through. I will get this case through. This case is going through. And you're going to get criminal charges on your table. You will come to the court to me. You will meet with me on a court. You will respond for the stuff you did. I don't care whether you're King of England or you're President of the United States, who you were all involved in it. You will respond to my charges, to my criminal charges. I will get you down. And if I'm not going to get you down, I'm going to die. But I am not going to die for no reason. You left the fucking mark of the beast, even if I'm gone. I was here, I testified who did, how it was done, and why it was done this way. And the rest doesn't matter. It's not a sin to get killed on duty. The sin is to get, basically, to die without any purpose in life. I knew my purpose in life. I did my purpose in life extremely good.